How is it going, everyone, and welcome back to yet another video on the channel. As I apologize for my slight absence, I haven't actually uploaded for about a week now since the Marco Rossi video, and the reason for that is school. It has been a bit busy, but I am glad to be back and making this video for you guys all. And as you can obviously see in the title and thumbnail, we're going to be talking about the recent Alex Pietrangelo free agency rumors. I intended to actually get this video out about a couple days earlier, but I never actually found the time to actually edit this video, so we're just going to be doing it all now. And I know a lot of other hockey YouTubers have already touched up on this actual topic, but I really wanted to give my insight on where I feel Alex Pietrangelo could end up next season. As if you guys were out of the loop, you wouldn't actually know that Alex Pietrangelo, being the captain of the St. Louis Blues, has actually been out of contract talks with that team, meaning there's a huge possibility that we will be seeing Alex Pietrangelo in another uniform. Whether that be the Leafs or not, we will see. There are a ton of other possibilities. I'm going to be going over all of that. Obviously, if you guys are excited for this video, make sure to like, subscribe, comment, do all that stuff. Again, thank you guys so much for 3K subs. You guys are the best. We are on the road to 4K, so let's hit it as soon as we can. Anyways, without further ado, let's get right into the video. Now, through doing a little bit of research on Alex Pietrangelo, I found out a little bit of information about him that could end up tying to him possibly getting traded, or sorry, not getting traded, getting signed by the Toronto Maple Leafs this coming off season. And if you didn't actually know, Pietrangelo is from somewhere pretty close to Toronto, so at that point you already know it's practically a law that according to Leafs fans, he has to be, related to Toronto Maple Leafs signing or free agency rumors in some shape or form. But anyways, enough joking around. The Leafs obviously enter this offseason looking to really strengthen the right side of their blue line, and if you look at it, Pietrangelo would honestly fit that puzzle piece really well. He would immediately be the Leafs' best defenseman by a country mile, and obviously you could argue for a guy like Morgan Riley, but I feel like Pietrangelo has the edge over him with the size and just the overall hockey IQ. But honestly, with Riley on the left and Pietrangelo on the right, that would form one heck of a top pairing, and that top pairing is honestly capable of hanging with the likes of teams such as the Tampa Bay Lightning's top pairing and even the Boston Bruins. And although that may sound like a bit of a stretch, a Morgan Riley, Alex Pietrangelo first line sounds pretty good to me. I don't know about you guys, but obviously there's a slight problem with the salary cap, and currently the Leafs have about $6 million of cap space with 18 players signed. And according to Cap Friendly, that's barely enough money to re-sign RFAs Ilya Mikheyev, Travis Dermott, and let alone sign someone like Pietrangelo's caliber. So you could look at it from both sides. Obviously, there are pluses to signing a guy like Pietrangelo, possibly more pluses than cons, but it's how you get there which is the problem. And I don't know if the Leafs will be able to be contenders because of their current cap situation. So you have to look at it from both sides. Now, despite this minor setback, I feel like it could still be done, but having said that, the Leafs would probably have to pull a couple of strings to get this to even work in the slightest. And I don't know if it's become obvious or not yet, but the Leafs would probably have to trade Frederik Andersen and find a cheap replacement for him. I know a lot of Leafs fans who think that they can keep Frederik Andersen whilst acquiring a guy such as Alex Pietrangelo, and to that I say no. It's not going to happen. It's not possible. You guys don't have the cap for that. Plain, simple, and that's done. But honestly, despite that problem, you could honestly get a cheap replacement who could do the job. There are a ton of goalies on the market, like Thomas Greiss, Aaron Dell. These guys aren't outstanding goaltenders by any means, but they're cheap and they'll get the job done. They can play 40 games a season, maybe pushing it a little bit with 40, but I mean, they could still get the job done as a 1B goaltender, and that could honestly be what the Leafs need. Obviously, you're not going to be perfect throughout this whole scenario. You're going to have to give up some players to get a guy like Alex Pietrangelo if you want to fit everyone in, but honestly, I think it's a risk that I feel like the Leafs should take, as their defense is probably what lacks the most, and I feel like a Jack Campbell tandem with a guy like Aaron Dell, Thomas Greiss, I don't think they'd be able to afford Braden Holtby, but, a guy that's cheap could honestly do the job because, obviously freeing up Frederik Andersen would free up $5 million in cap space, but they would have to replace him with a goalie that could probably make about $1.5 to $2 million at the max, and that's cutting it really, really close. And honestly, on top of that, I would even go to the extent of trading a guy like Andreas Janssen. And I understand, if you're a hockey fan, Leafs fan, any type of fan, you're probably sitting there thinking, this guy's crazy. Why would the Leafs do that? Why would they trade their #1 goaltender and a top 6 forward for a right-handed defenseman in Alex Pietrangelo? And my answer to that is this. No one's going to be able to keep everything. Not every team is going to be able to keep all of their good players whilst fishing for other good players. The flat cap isn't doing anyone any favors right now, and every team is in the same scenario. It's not just the Leafs. Teams are going to have to make tough decisions on young players, on veterans, on skilled players, whether or not they're going to want to keep them or not. And that's just the way it is. There's no way around it. Teams are just going to have to deal with it. And if anything, for the Leafs, this is a good thing. I think that they should make these trades because it frees up a lot of cap space for a guy that they are in desperate need of. Alex Pietrangelo ticks off every single one of the boxes that the Leafs need for a defender. And he's right there. And I understand, it's a bit of a big blow to lose a guy like Freddie Anderson, but with Alex Pietrangelo's defensive play, I feel like in turn it could work out. And honestly, don't even mention Andreas Janssen. Their forward core is already good enough, and he doesn't really, add that much value on top of guys like Matthews, Marner, guys like that. And I feel like losing a guy like Andreas Janssen won't do you that bad, as obviously I know that losing Freddie Anderson is bad, but honestly, in turn, with gaining a guy like Alex Pietrangelo, with his defensive capabilities, it could really help you guys out. And honestly, it won't make much of a difference if you acquire a guy like Rice. It could be fine. And honestly, that pretty much wraps up what I actually wanted to say about Alex Pietrangelo going to the Leafs. In terms of other teams that I feel like could be in the mix for a guy like Pietrangelo, potentially the Vegas Golden Knights, that could be a bit of a stretch, but honestly, I feel like he's a player that could go to a team like that and just make a difference there, do a madness. The Vegas Golden Knights are already one of the best teams in the league, and that would honestly surefy my bet of them winning the league next year for sure. But yeah, that's a bit more of a stretch than I feel like the Leafs. I think that he will go to the Leafs. That's my honest opinions when free agency hits October the 9th, I believe. I'm making a ton of videos that day. It's going to be awesome, and I cannot wait to share it with you guys. Draft is coming up too. We'll be doing a live stream. Make sure to check it out. Thank you guys so much for 3K subs again. I really appreciate it. That's probably going to wrap up this video, guys. Let me know what you guys all think in the comment section below. Leafs fans, do you guys want Alex Pietrangelo? At what cost do you want him at? And yeah, that's pretty much it. So I'll make sure to see you guys all in the next video. Peace.